Hello, Pisces. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Art Nouveau Tarot by Matt Myers. Supportive Oracle cards. Queen of the Moon Oracle by... I can't find your name. Where is your name? Stacy DeMarco. There we go. It's not, it's right there on the viewfinder for y'all, but I was looking for it in the back, and I'm like, I can't find it. Okay, Pisces. I think I really like that, but I want to see more after. If you're not aware, if you're new to my channel, I am an intuitive reader. I know the cards, I know that what they mean and all the other good stuff, but I won't just go with a card just because it's popping out like the standard meaning. It has to meld in with what's around it. Just in case you're wondering, because I'm seeing something here at the end, and I'm like, it's the Moon card, and I really kind of like it, but I'm like, why do I like it? Like, why do we like it? We got to get there and find out why we like it. Although Moon sometimes resonates with Cancer, and Cancer is a very complementary energy for Pisces. So it might be like a family feel or a friendship or a connection like that, community, but a community feel where you feel loved. We'll see. Let's get into it. Let's get a little farther into it. I think it's also, because I say this all the time, I'm a Pisces too, so I think I'm getting excited because I'm like, what's out here? What's good? What's good? All right. Coming into this, it seems like this is talking about quite a dramatic start. Something got the situation, whatever you're dealing with, like something threw things off balance a little bit. And when it first happened, you just kind of dealt with it. You were just kind of like, yeah, okay, this is happening. Not that I want it to happen. And I almost feel like for a lot of you, you really didn't like what was happening, but you're kind of like, well, this is what's going on, though, and I have to deal with it. So it's not about liking it or disliking it. It's happening. I just got to handle it. So you did. And it's sometimes like, it feels to me like, as a Pisces, I think this is one of our strengths. Sometimes things get a little bit ridiculous, over the top, or too much. Let's say too much. Like, a situation can get overwhelming, right? And some of us, I think most of us anyway, maybe all of us, can do this thing where we just kind of shut off our emotional response to it, and we just do it. We just kind of like, well, emotionally it's overwhelming me, but I can't do that right now because I got to succeed through this, and we just kind of shut it off. I don't know. It seems like it's a Pisces thing where we just kind of shut the emotions off. It's temporary, but it gets us through some hard times once in a while. And when I'm feeling the world come in, there's a lot of cards here I haven't shown you yet. There's a couple of reasons why I'm feeling this, if I can pick them up. Yeah, hunger. Okay, hunger comes in with the Five of Pentacles. So hunger, like feeling like something is disconnecting you from a situation. Something is keeping you away from it, and you're wanting to be a part of it. That's kind of part of it. The thing is, this is something you don't feel is always going to be the case. So when you got this card coming in, the Four of Wands, it's kind of like, right now it's keeping me away. Right now I can't be a part of it. Right now I really want to be, but I know it will come back around. I know this will be okay. It's just I got to wait it out. While I'm waiting it out, let me plan ahead. Let me get things taken care of. Let me, almost kind of like, nobody can come visit me for right now for whatever reason. Like, they can't come visit me. But you know what? They will sometime later. So while this is going on and people can't come, I'm going to actually get myself together. I'm going to get my house together. I'm going to start planning things. I'm going to start, trying some different recipes. Maybe you like to entertain and you're like, well, this is the time for me to try recipes and just for me to try them. That way, if I screw them up, I know, like, oh, I wanted to try this recipe. I don't know really what I'm doing. Let me try it. Oh, screwed it up. Let me see if I do this differently. Oh, screwed it up again. Oh, wait, let me try it again. Okay, I got it down. So, like, you kind of, like, dealt with it in the sense of, like, instead of letting this situation hold me down, I'm going to just move forward like, I can make the best of it. You're forcing the glass to be a half full situation. Even though it's like you have a quarter of a cup, it's like instead of the glass being like half full, it's like a quarter full. But you're like, no, I'm gonna make this like a half full situation. I'm gonna make the best of this because you know what? Why sit here and worry about it? I'm gonna try to make the best of it. You seem to have a lot of energy around you where it's not just about you. Like when you're doing this, it's not just for you, but you're kind of doing this and you're kind of letting other people know. Communication seems to be happening, but you seem to be showing support by not letting the situation pull you down. So people can visibly see, somehow people are seeing that the situation isn't pulling you down. You're not allowing it. They seem to feel a lot better. You got discernment, you got the masculine, and you got, what's this last one? Fruition. Fruition's hidden, though. And it's kind of like, when I feel fruition, I feel like it's kind of like something they wanted to do right now. Like, you're showing them a way they can do something right now. You're showing them, like, instead of letting this hold you down, do what I'm doing. Find a way to make it work. You seem to be inspiring people this way. I'm not even sure you're aware of it, quite frankly, because there's a mask on this one, the fruition. Like you're inspiring other people to stand up and do what they can do for their own situation. So I'm curious if you're even aware of that. Some of you must be. You have to be. That could be like a Pisces water sign feel, kind of like you know something's kind of going in a good direction, you just can't put your finger on it. Might be one of those. The masculine with the discernment is kind of like people are trying to keep their feet on the ground about the situation. This might be a way they're stabilizing. So you're having a very positive influence. It's very interesting to me because I feel like you're just trying to stabilize your own situation and you might not be realizing the effect you're having for other people. So this is good. Nothing's really bad right there. That's good. Now the next situation, the next part of the situation is you trying to keep hold of your own emotions. Are we sure? Yeah. Two of Swords. The situation, when it went into its next phase, whatever that was, it got more complicated. Because of like, it's more about thoughts and what's really happening here, and is this going on or is that going on, and what is happening there, and what's going on here, and what I'm doing, is that making a difference, or am I wasting my time? Are other people doing something better, or are other people doing something that's going to get in my way? Thoughts, like trying to get a hold of your thoughts, trying to keep your feet on the ground about, not letting whatever's going on around you pull you down. This became a challenge. And I feel like, I'm going to say this because I'm a Pisces and I went through this, so I think this kind of makes sense to me. It's like one day you can be doing really good and the next day you can be fighting to keep it together and you're just kind of like, nothing's really going wrong. I just feel like things aren't right. And it's weird. Especially if you're more on the intuitive side, because sometimes the energy around you starts getting weird and you're not really sure what's going on because there can be multiple energies coming at you and affecting you. It's kind of like multiple songs playing at once, and it's like it's hard to hold on to or pinpoint exactly what's going wrong, but you're like, this isn't right, something isn't right here. So you might have been picking up on the energy around you. And sometimes also if you have a bigger circle of influence, people around you thinking about you, sometimes just people thinking about you or thinking about you as a part of a situation can kind of send random energy off your way, and you can just all of a sudden feel like, oh, what's going on? Because fear was here with growth with the Seven of Cups. Now, the Seven of Cups is usually a dream card, sometimes a possibilities card. I'm getting thoughts and feelings and fears and trying to move forward and ready to go to the next stage. It's kind of like, you know what, I've been putting this together, I've been planning, I knew I couldn't see people right now, but now I'm ready to see people, and now it's still not happening, and I don't know, I'm ready to move forward, and I can't. It's all all overwhelmed you at this point, and you were trying to hold it together. The Two of Swords in this situation is you trying to stabilize the situation. It's not really a block card in your sense, but in this reading, it's kind of like saying, trying to hold it stable, trying to like not let it fall backwards, not time to move forward, but you don't want to fall back. You're like, God, I want to stay where I am. I want to hold it together where I am. People wanted to move forward, but were not ready, but wanted to move forward. This is a very interesting connection here. The Queen of Staves and the Queen of Pentacles. So it's like fire and earth. These are very passionate, strong energies. I would not say good nor bad. When I'm feeling it for your reading, these are neither good nor bad. They're just kind of like, one is like, no, we're not moving forward yet. It's not time. The other is like, I am ready. It's time to go forward. Let's go. I feel like these are conflicting energies around your situation. Like, let's move forward. Let's not. Let's go. Let's not. Like, it's kind of like no, and it's like yes. It's like equal yes and no. It's like, okay, let's do that. Yes, no. Well, are we or aren't we? No. Yes. Well, which is it? Exactly. Confusion. It's a weird, like, there's energy around you, like, it's going forward, and it's kind of like you want to go forward with that. There's energy around you that's not. And I feel like it's not the same person doing this, but it's like you have different factions. One going forward, you want to go with that, but you're like, I don't know if I should. One staying sedentary, and you're like, I feel like I maybe should too, but I don't know if I want to. And it's kind of like the energy around you is just kind of like, I don't know what to hold on to. I don't know which way to really take this. I don't know which is really right. Also seems to be a thing. Kind of like you're conflicted, kind of like which way is right, the right way. Because I see if I go this way, that might be right, but that could go bad. But I can see this way, if I do that, that seems like it's the safe bet, but that might also be holding things back and drawing things out. We don't want to do that either. So it's kind of like, I don't know where to go. There seems to be a compromise. It feels like you're living in two worlds. It feels like you're living in two worlds. That's weird. The Page of Rods, Staves, Fire. Page of Fire. Let's just call it the Page of Fire, because that's what it is. Staves are wands, wands are fire. And the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is devastation. These two conflicting factions, like, I call them factions, but I don't think they were going up against each other. I just feel like you're dealing with two different ways of handling the same type of situation. And it's kind of like things are slowly moving forward. There's a lot of, like, unrest with it. When I'm feeling the Ten of Swords, it doesn't feel like a permanent, like permanent fall. It feels like, it may be short, like, bursts of, like, fear. It feels like short bursts of fear. I don't know how to explain it. Because the Ten of Swords is not, like, it's not an easy card. But when I'm seeing the Page of Staves, which is the Page of Fire, like, there's these problems, like, these really hard moments, difficult moments that just seem to, they're there, and then it keeps going, and then they're there, and it keeps going, and this is going on around you. It's almost like whatever the situation is, other people are, like, having issues and moving forward, and having issues but moving forward, and you're more watching and observing, and it's affecting you, because you're like, I want to help, I don't know what to help, I don't know if I'm helping, am I helping? I don't know if I'm helping. It's like you keep questioning, like, is there something I could do? I don't know if there's something I could do. Should I be doing something? Should I not be doing something? Should I get involved? Should I mind my own business? What's right? Because sometimes, people do need help, but I think it's hard for a lot of us to go, like, sometimes when people need help, we are the person to help. Sometimes when people need help, we're not the person to help. Like, staying away from it and leaving it alone and letting somebody else handle it sometimes is better. It's hard to know, because when you care especially, it's hard to know. And it can get confusing. So this is getting a little bit more deeper, a little bit more confusing. The Devil card comes in with the King of Swords. This is not bad for you. But I'm getting, I feel like there's crossing of lines. I feel like there's crossing of lines. It's like the King of Swords is like, we're going to do it this way, and, like, there's some parts of this that are wrong, and there's some parts of this that are right. It's just somebody pushing it forward, kind of like, I'm sick of it, we're just going to do this trial by fire thing. That's the Devil card. Like, some of this is people. I don't want to say it's a person, but people are just like, if it's wrong, then it's wrong, and here we go. And some of it is, but some of it's right. On your side, you got the Six of Wands. While this is happening, you're doing your best to roll with it, but the Six of Wands is a success card. Kind of like you're just kind of watching, you're trying not to get too deeply involved, but you're trying not to hold it back at the same time. Whatever's pushing forward, I feel like you're like, yeah, we need to go forward to the next stage. Let's move forward to the next stage. You're kind of watching and being careful, and nobody's targeting you. Nobody's targeting you. So there's problems here. People might be mad at each other for what's going on, but nobody seems to be coming at you directly. I think that's good. Like, there's no reason for somebody to come at you directly. Whatever the situation is, it's rolling with it. You're rolling with it quite well. Very cool. Eight of Swords is next with the Priest. Now, the Priest in this deck is very interesting. The Priest, I think, is usually the Hierophant. This is somebody who's trying to do the right thing. The rules and structures around them they do believe in, and they're trying to adhere to those things because they believe they're right, and they're trying to do the right thing. Eight of Swords is also saying, with those same, like, trying to adhere to the rules, believing they're right, trying to do your best with them, that's also restricting the situation. It's keeping it from really healing completely. It's not stopping it from healing, but it's not letting it heal as optimally as it could, if that makes sense. The two of these cards together, that's kind of like there's a conflict there. I'm getting the Priest card is telling me there's a lot of good here. There's there's bucket loads of good intention. Okay, it's really good in that sense. But it's also kind of like when people get very held to certain rules and they're like, we can't go outside the boundary. No, stay in the boundary. Sometimes when you're not willing to step outside of a boundary, that can inhibit healing. In this situation, it's inhibiting it, but it's not stopping it. It's just maybe making it a little slower than it normally would be, or slower than it possibly could be. This seems to work out, though. Again, that's where the Moon card comes in. This is going on for a while. We got a lot coming in at the end. It's going to be one of these situations where after all is said and done, there's going to be missteps. There's going to be looking back going, I wish we had done it this way. That could have gone better. Knowing what we know now, if we had done it this way, that would have gone better. But there's another factor. We didn't have the ability. We didn't have the ability to know what we know now then. Like, you know, when you're driving down the road, you don't know that the animal is going to run out in front of your car. You know, knowing what you know now, like there's a possibility of that happening, you can plan better, like, oh, if this happens again, we can do this differently. But at the same time, you're like, I didn't even realize that was going to be a thing. I didn't know that that was going to be a possibility. So it's kind of looking at things like that. Be careful when you get to this moment, because I feel like people are going to be a little critical, and they shouldn't be. Because it's looking at it like, you know, when you're faced with a situation and you're not expecting things, you do the best you can with it. And people look back and like they get very down on themselves. Like, I can't believe I did this. I should have done that. Blah, 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 blah. When things are thrown in your face, you do the best you can with them. And you're going to make mistakes. But the thing is, you also have to factor in when something's thrown in your face, you just got to react to it and do the best you can with it. You know, I feel like you might be this voice of reason here. Hopefully that they hear you. Kind of like, you know, a surprise attack is just that. It's a surprise. And you do your best with it. Looking back and being like, I wish I did this, I wish I did that, makes sense in case it comes around again. But it should be more of an empowering, in case this happens again, I want to have this mental plan in the back of my brain, so like, I don't just react, I'll be like, wait, this is how I want to handle this, and hopefully that plan is there enough so I can do it. They don't want to go at it in the sense of like, beating themselves up, I should have this, I should have that. That's a negative way to handle that. A positive way is, yes, review it. Yes, go, I wish I had done, in case something like this comes around again and you have like a backup plan. Like, oh, it's happening again. Wait, this time I want to do it this way. Hopefully that helps. You do have, again, a lot of good cards. You got faith, and assessment. That's what I was just describing, even though I didn't show you those cards. Sorry about that. We got these two cards. We got the Two of Cups and the Moon card. And I'm feeling like the Moon for you feels like you're wanting people to come together. You're wanting people to look at things differently. You're wanting to empower them. You're wanting to remind them, you know, you're wanting to remind these people that you care about, listen, you're not a bad person. You didn't do anything to create chaos. You did the best you could. Okay, you'd prefer to have done it better. You prefer to have done it differently. Great. Next time, if it happens again, just have that in your head. Don't beat yourself up. Just make a plan and empower yourself in case it comes around again. You do seem to be helping, because I'm questioning, because people are like, I feel like there's some really hard energy, but people are like taking it in on themselves. So they're not pushing hard energy towards you, but they're pushing it in on themselves, and you don't really enjoy that either. That's like, I don't want somebody who I care about to beat themselves up. That's not a good moment. I don't like that. Like, and I feel like that's easily what you'd say. Like, no, I don't like that. I don't want that happening. But you're showing them self-reflection, but it's almost like you see these two people holding hands, like they're holding. It's like you're showing them, like, listen, you don't have to be that hard on yourself. Let's just be realistic. Let's look at the situation, evaluate it, make a better plan, but have some care for ourselves. We did the best we could in the time. The 10 of Cups, is that at the 10? Yep. You're stabilizing this person. You're empowering them. The only thing I'm worried about with them is like how much of this 3 of Swords is going to play. Because the 3 of Swords is like the heartbreak card. And I'm just getting like, they could really take this to a really hard, difficult place. They could end up like making things worse for themselves. You know, reviewing things and doing the shoulda, woulda, coulda, that can be something where you feel so negative about what you've done once that when it comes around again, it's those negative feelings that really amp up, and it could make the second time around even worse, just because those feelings, that negativity is so soaked in. So you want to empower them, and you want to like make them feel like, you know, all right, yeah, didn't go the best. That's okay. It was thrown in your face. Let's go over it again. If this comes around again, got a better plan, and you'll do the best. Let's always remember, any time you get something thrown in your face, like, not for nothing, even if it's whatever it is. Like, I don't really like things getting thrown in my face, personally. Even if it's like a squishy ball that's not going to physically hurt me, I don't like things thrown in my face, personally. I don't think most people do. And I think you need to remind them that, though. It's like when something gets thrown in your face, it's a shock, and you do, like, something comes in, you get it out of your face. You know, it's a reaction. I think you're empowering others in this one. I think that's what this is about. Okay. I could go on all day, apparently, about it. So I'm going to try to shut down here. Thank you for watching. I hope that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.